Hello everyone. How we all doing today? I say that every time because I actually, you know what? I'm interested. How are you doing today? Me, I'm all right. Um, kind of had a rough night, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I really appreciate you being here with me. The feedback that I'm getting over these videos are really nice. And I thank you for being with me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Just hit the subscribe button, that little red thing over there. Hit the notification bell, and leave a comment, throw a like. You know what to do. You know what to do. You're on YouTube. You've done this before. I want to thank you again for being with me. Today I'm going to talk about a few things. It's going to be a little longer video. As I said earlier, I really didn't have a good sleep last night, and I'm sure that's no interest to you. And I apologize for this topic. Actually, you know what? No, I don't. This is just a very, very sensitive issue, and it's just something that feel that I have to address. Uh, the topic today is going to be going through grief. The majority of us have lost somebody very close to our hearts, and how difficult it is to get on with your own life due to the loss. It's not easy, and my heart goes out to you. I'm really, really sorry for your loss. Um, yes, it is very hard. And sometimes it's so hard that a lot of people, they don't get on with their lives. And it's sad. Um, Now, a little bit of personal history. I've lost a few people. The biggest one, or the most devastating one to me, was I lost my daughter, 2011, November 17th. I'll never forget that. I had that wake up that every parent dreads. I had that, and it's something that I probably will never ever in my lifetime get over. I believe it's not something you do get over when you've had an extreme loss. Is somebody so close to your heart. They say there are different stages that a person goes through when they have lost someone, and some of it, yes, I do agree with. Um, some of it is, it's almost like they don't know what they're talking about. Now, I'll tell you right now up front, I'm not a therapist. I am not a doctor. I'm talking from personal experience, something that has happened in my life. Um, I would love to hear a little bit. If you can relate to what I'm going to say or what I'm saying now, if you can relate to it, I would love to speak to somebody about it. If you feel that you're having a hard time, I'm here to listen. Okay? One of my best attributes is listening. Like I say, I'm not a therapist, but I found that just having somebody with an ear that understands, who have been in a place where you are now, who has been there, who has experienced it, and who knows what you're going through, it helps a lot. Like, it really, really does. I had people come to me afterwards, and say things like, oh, Shelley, just be strong. Just be strong. You have to be strong. Strong? My God, I'm lucky if I got up and put my slippers on. I lived for 6 months in my pajamas, for heaven's sake. Strong? I don't even know if I was awake, or if I was sleeping, or if I was even the one who had passed. I just wasn't in my right head at all. And there's a lot of things that come with that. It was a trauma that a lot of people share. But a lot of people don't like to talk about it because it follows with mental health. And that's, to a lot of people, that's a big taboo. Ooh, don't talk about mental health. Don't talk about that. Means you're crazy, and I don't want to talk about that. That's garbage. That's garbage. When you've been through a trauma like I have, or maybe you have, it's real. It's real. Yeah, sure, the days go by. But like I said, you're lucky if you can get up and put your damn feet on the floor. It's one of the hardest things that somebody will ever have to go through in their lifetime, is a severe trauma like I did. Now, I always knew that there was like 6 stages of grief and all this, and I went ahead and I looked it up to see what these so-called professionals, to see what they had to say about it. I'll just point out a couple things that I have found, and I wrote a few notes from my point of view on it. Now, they say the stages of grieving is, number 1, you go into denial. When it first happens, you go into denial. Okay, yeah, we do. And then there's the anger that follows. The bargaining. I really didn't. I know what bargaining means, but when you're in that state of mind, I really had to think about that one. And then follows depression. Well, that's pretty much that's a given. That's a given. And then finally, there's the acceptance. Now that one, I don't know if it ever happens. Maybe one day, yeah, sure. Now let's touch on the denial. Stage 1. So they say. They say that, first of all, to think this isn't happening. It's just, this isn't happening. Your brain goes to an automatic denial. No, this isn't right. This can't be happening. You're shocked and you're numb. Your brain just kind of pauses, and then it hits panic stage. It's like, what? This can't be happening? Holy crap, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? What do I see? What's going on? Then you need the details. It's a defense mechanism that your brain goes into. And I can understand that, and I've been there. Yeah, it does. You just can't believe it. So it automatically backs your brain up, and say, okay, wait, hold on. It's an extreme, overwhelming emotion that when it hits you like this, you just don't know what to do. So your brain kind of shuts down, and it just kind of, how do I put this? It doesn't. The automatic starts. It's like pushing an autopilot. It just, your body automatically does things to protect itself. The anger. As reality sets into your head, there's a lot of pain. There is extreme amount of pain. And I'm not talking just emotionally. I am talking about physically. My chest actually hurt for months. I couldn't breathe. Like it hits you physically because your brain can't handle the information. It can't process it. So it hits you physically. Um, you feel helpless and alone with the anger. And oh my, you do. You feel like there's nobody out there. You're all by yourself. Your brain's going, how do I deal with this? I can't process it. And you feel helpless. You don't know where to turn. Like say you don't know where to talk, who to talk to. And you feel that even if you do talk to somebody, you still feel alone because you know in the back of your head, you're going, even if I say something, they're not going to understand. So that's what the feeling alone is like. And it's that all by itself is traumatic, very, very traumatic because you have to try to get over that alone stage. There are people who will just sit back and listen. And I found that personally, somebody who just sits there and says, okay, Shelley, what's going on? And if they sat there and just kept their mouth shut and listened to what I had to say, listened to what was actually going on, that was the best thing that I found that anybody could ever do for me, was just sit there and listen to me and actually be interested in how bad I was hurting. All these feelings, they turn into anger. It turns into anger towards people, towards things, towards your own life. You look back on it's like, oh, what could I have done? Like just life in general. And you could even be angry for the people who actually, the person that you lost. The anger, again, is overwhelming. You don't know where to put these things. You don't know how to categorize everything. It's just way too much. The bargaining. Now, like I said earlier, I had to think about this one for a little bit. But people do that. They'll bargain with themselves, or they'll bargain with, I say, a higher power. They'll dwell on things like, what could I have done to prevent what happened? Common thoughts are, if only. If only I was there. Or if only I had said something. Or if only I had done something. Or what if? I've said that too. What if? What if I had actually sat down and listened to that person and actually be interested and cared enough to just listen? You might even try to strike a deal. Okay, this is a little crudely said, but you might even try to strike a deal with a higher power. Whatever that higher power is for you, for me, and we go back to the anger again. I was so angry with myself, with my daughter, with Tanya who died. I was so angry with God. How dare you take away this beautiful, beautiful soul? Now she won't be able to get married. Now she won't be able to have babies. Now she won't know the love for a child like I do. Now she won't be able to own her own house. Now she won't even be able to laugh anymore. She won't see the sun, So you get angry with your higher power. And everybody believes in something. You know, I'm not here to say who to believe in or what your beliefs are, but everybody believes in something. And everybody pretty much believes in something different. And that's great, that's fine. Like I say, I'm not here to judge. You believe in who you believe in. Now, depression follows that, and that's pretty much a given as far as I'm concerned. You've suffered a tragedy. You've suffered a trauma. It's going to follow with depression, like overwhelming sadness, and it'll continue to set in. And as you begin to understand the loss and its effect on your life, you could experience, oh my goodness, everything from, well, start off with crying. Some people can't cry, they hold it in. Or some people can't stop because they don't know how to suppress it. Loss of sleep. And this is where I got to last night. Sometimes it becomes, even though it happened in 2011, everybody says, oh, you should be over it by now. Over it? What do you mean over it? You're going to tell me to get over the death of my daughter? How do you do that? You know, like, in your head you're going, if you only knew what was involved, you would not be saying, get over it. And I heard that a lot. Well, don't you think it's about time you got over it? And it throws you back. It's like, do you understand what you're saying? Do you really understand what you're saying? Think about it. You know, like I said before in one of my videos, God gave you 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. Use it accordingly. If you shut this up and open these and these, maybe you wouldn't say that to begin with. The loss of sleep. Oh my goodness, it comes back to me in the middle of the night. Your brain starts. And it's like you're thinking of this, thinking of that. I have to actually put on the television for me to be able to sleep all night. Because my ears, my brain is focusing on something else so I don't resort back into my own head. The loss of sleep is incredible. For no reason, I'll wake up and then I start thinking, right? So I have to concentrate on something else for me not to have nightmares and for me to be able to just sleep. And it happens to everybody. The loss of sleep is horrible. It is so overwhelming. And then once you start having a loss of sleep, like I'm talking a lot of loss of sleep, it affects your daily life. It affects, it could get even to the extreme where it affects your speech. That's where a lot of people are laughing at me because I screw up with my speech a lot. But my brain is going faster than my mouth, believe it or not. So I'm tripping over my words only because I'm trying to get out and I'm trying to get it out. And I'm not slowing down what's going on in here before it comes out. And that comes with a lack of sleep. Just your functioning. You might trip over your feet because the connection's not there. You get cranky. You get really, really cranky with a lot of people. Even your hand functions. And as this progresses, everything gets worse. And it'll get worse, and it'll get worse, and it'll get worse. Depression it's a horrible thing. And I don't wish it on anyone. The very last stage, is acceptance. Now, how do I put this? This one's a hard one. This could take days. This could take years. In your brain, you know that, oh, it's happened. I've accepted it's happened. But you still go back to, oh, well, no, it hasn't happened. And that's where your head plays tricks on you. You know, that's a real hard one to accept, like the reality of your loss. Even though everything around you is moving on, you feel like you're still standing still. And talking to a therapist and talking to a professional is probably your best bet. They will sit there and listen. I've had a lot of friends that they say they will listen or they say they want to help, and it's just not there. They just don't understand. Where a therapist has been trained and they've seen thousands of cases, they know what you're going through, even though the majority of them haven't experienced it for themselves. They understand and they can direct you down the right path to healing. And it's all, the rest of your life is all concentrated on pretty much healing, putting one step in front of the other for just to handle the next day. It's baby steps. It's one little process at a time that'll give you the courage to get on with your life. We all know that the person that had passed would never want you to go through this kind of pain. But it happens. It's going to happen. If you've ever experienced something like this, all these stages are going to happen. And it all comes back to how you're dealing with the stages. A lot of people can't accept it, so they have to get help. And you might go back and forth within these stages for a very long time. It could be for the rest of your life that you go back and forth within these stages. You know, you might go have a bad night and start blaming God about having to take them away from you. Or you might say, this isn't happening. I can't have it happening. And then that runs into depression. There's nothing harder in life, I believe, than having to lose someone you love. But if you believe in your higher power, it does make it easier. Grief never goes away, ever. So if anybody ever says to you, get over it, just walk away. Just walk away, because you know this person, they're ignorant, you know, and I'm not talking about just being rude ignorant. I'm talking about they just don't know. They don't understand. And that's not healthy for you. So turn around, close those two ears, and that'll close this, and just walk away. They just don't understand. Now, a lot of physical changes can come with trauma from losing a loved one. Personally, I have a lot of memory loss, and it's short-term memory. If you notice, I'm always looking at a note, or I'm trying to backtrack, or I stutter. It's because I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to keep things straight in my head. It could be from just, where did I put my keys, even though I just put them down? Or, oh, did I shut the stove off when I left the house? all kinds of things, all everyday mundane things is my problem with the memory loss. And that was actual physical brain damage that happened. Um, but I'm working through it. Every day is a new day, and I'm still taking baby steps. I'll never get over it. That'll never happen. That'll never happen. I know that. But I'm trying to be as happy as I can be, as you should. This is your life, and try to make the best of it. That's all I can say, is try to make the best of it. I know it hurts. Nobody knows how much it hurts unless you've been there. And more people are there than I know, than anybody knows. So on the bright side of things, there is going to be a new day. Don't let it get to you to the point where you think your life is not important. I had a friend, actually I met her when my daughter died, because her daughter died at the same day. Her daughter was in a car accident where my Tanya, she fell down, not these ones, but she fell down a flight of stairs. She hit her head on the cement, and she just never woke up again. She broke her neck in 3 different places. She cracked her skull. She went into severe shock. They lost her on the way to the hospital. It was horrible. But this poor lady that I'm talking about, she lost her daughter in a car accident, and she actually had the police come to her door in the middle of the night. And she had a real hard time with it. Outward, you wouldn't have known. Talking to her, she was having some days were great days, some days were bad days. She was going through her grieving process, and nobody knew exactly the extent of how depressed she was afterwards. She couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle the grieving. She couldn't handle the loss of her daughter. And she actually tried to commit suicide herself. And that just breaks my heart. It does. There's people out there to help. If it's not a therapist, go to your pastor. Go to your family doctor. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Nothing wrong at all. Yeah, it was a real sad time. But she's getting better now, which is wonderful. She turned to the church. She turned to her God, and she's getting through it. And she's dealing with it day by day. It's like we all do. But it's a shame that people get to that point. But she went through everything I had just listed, and her brain couldn't handle it. Which, like I said, it breaks my heart. And I hope nobody watching this is going through that. Because please, 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 I beg you, get some help. There's no shame in it. You're only going to help yourself. And if you don't tell anybody, and if you don't want anybody to know, nobody else has to know, because it is not their business. It's your business. It's your business on how you have to heal. Your loved one is around you, because life is energy. They're looking down at you, or they're beside you, and they're going, well, I know my Tanya's looking at me right now. She's probably laughing her head off, because that's just the kind of girl she is, or she was. See, there I go again. She's probably saying, oh, Mom, you're making a bloody fool of yourself. But that's okay. I don't care. I'm healing. And that's a positive. And in my books, that's just great. She laughs as much as she wants. But I know she's here. I know she's here looking after me. And that's great. So I know this was a long one, and I hope I touched on some points that that if you have gone through this yourself, it will help you. Okay? Yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a very good day. I've got some tunes going on in the background. I'm gonna go have a nap because, yeah, like I said, I lost some sleep, so this is why I'm coming on here to talk about that loss of sleep, and I think you got the picture. If you haven't already, like I said before, please subscribe. You know, I might just come on here one day and just shoot my mouth off, make a fool of myself, or it might be a serious conversation like it is right now. But please subscribe, hit the notification bell. I think next time I might do a little bit of cooking. We'll get out of the living room here, go into the kitchen, and yeah, we'll have some little bit of fun. So for now, I'll get off and get off the chair. You have a great day. I'll let you go. And remember, somebody loves you.